He comes in and when he sees me, he's like, "You!" He walks towards me like he's about to kill me. "You, the guy over there, stop him right now." Hey, welcome back. What's going on? Thank you for joining me. This is One Man Covers, and I'm here back with a new video. And I'm back here with a new story to tell you guys. I hope you're having a good time. I hope it's warm now wherever you live. Please be sure to support the channel by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Today I'm sharing with you an old story of mine, my very first live performance, my first concert. I'll be sharing with you the events, what happened before, during, and after that concert. And most importantly, what I learned. Of course, at that concert, I was the bass player. Actually, I was still new to bass. It was 2017, and I had recently bought my beautiful Yamaha ERB 302 bass guitar. My first and only bass so far. So yeah, 2017, I was in high school, a freshman, and I believe it was November because I think the occasion for the concert was the Independence Day of Lebanon. So most people there were new and didn't know each other. So they announced that they were looking for musicians and artists, poets, singers to perform on that day. And I'm not sure if I approached them or someone told them about me. I mean, some people knew me there and knew that I was a musician, but I'm still not sure how it happened. Anyway, I met with some students and teachers who were responsible, who were in charge of supervising everything. And then we kind of introduced each other and had an audition. Then we agreed to meet another day so we can play together for the first time. That day came, we gathered inside a large hall in the school, and of course I got my bass and everybody got their instruments. I sat down, got ready, plugged in and started warming up, and so did some of the other musicians that were there. Yup, focus on that. Some, not all. Because the rest of us just went somewhere and started chatting and got distracted and I don't know what they were doing, but it was not getting ready to play. And actually inside that hall we had 2 ping pong tables. And yeah, you guessed it. While 2 or 3 musicians and I were playing, the rest just went and started playing ping pong. Now at that moment I didn't really mind it, I just kept playing and waited for them. Because at some point I thought they were gonna stop playing ping pong and join us so we can all play music together. That didn't happen. Actually it got worse. After a while the 2 or 3 other musicians put their instruments down, left and joined the ping pong game. And I was the only one playing. But at one point they turned their attention to me while I was playing and they got impressed and everything and I was accepted. And it was easy for me. Actually, I think the song I was playing at that moment was Seasons in the Abyss by Slayer. By the way, during that period I was still playing with a pick exclusively. So that ended and we left and I let go of it. Although I definitely did get the impression that these guys already don't give a shit. They're not taking it seriously. Now a few days later this happened. I didn't tell you this previously. We were supposed to form a band and play some Arabic music or Oriental music or Middle Eastern music, whatever you want to call it. Now I've been in many bands that played this kind of music and I've done awesome. But here's something you might not know about Arabic music. You know how there's a tone and then you have a semitone, flats and sharps? In Arabic music there are also quarter tones, like half flats and half sharps. Which means that if you want to play this kind of music, you have 3 choices. 1. You have to have an instrument on which you can play those quarters like fretless instruments, like the violin, or a wind instrument like the nai. 2. You can use a keyboard that's altered to Oriental music, which means it automatically plays those quarters instead of semitones. Or 3. You can stick to the root and the 5th, and the 4th if you can. Now, I'm a bass player, and as you can see, I don't have a fretless bass. Which option do you think I had to choose? Of course, option 3. I had to stick to the 1st and the 5th, and the 4th if I could throw it in somewhere. Now here's the issue, let's get back to the story. Some days later, the band comes up to me and the keyboardist tells me, "Hey, I'm sorry, but you can't play in the band." And I was like, "What? Why?" And he goes, "Because we're gonna play Arabic music, how are you gonna play quarter notes?" And I answered him with exactly what I just told you. A bass player does not need to play half sharps or half flats. And one of two things happened. One, he didn't understand. Two, he already knew what I was talking about, but he didn't want me in the band. And I'm actually more inclined to believing the second one, and let me tell you why. This keyboard player is something else. I've had multiple encounters with this guy, and my impression of him every time was the same. He was an egomaniac. He was kind of the leader of the band, which is the case in most Arabic bands. But like I said minutes ago, I have worked in many Arabic bands and that never happened. So this guy plays super loud. And some people might not know this, but on a keyboard, you can program pretty much the whole band, including beats, rhythm, melodies, and yes, bass. So I believe this guy just wanted to get as much credit as possible. So I kept defending the idea that yes, I can play, of course I can. And I gave him examples. There are many Arabic bands that use an electric bass. You don't need a double bass anymore. And by the way, the bass that he programmed on the keyboards was not playing quarter notes. It was playing roots. And like many eras ago, when Arabic bands had double bass, most of the time the bass player doubled the melody. That was the old traditional way of playing bass, which obviously I wasn't following and I didn't even need to follow. And again, it's the way that he was following, just didn't know. Or maybe he did know, but like I said, he didn't want me in that band. So a couple days later, we had a meeting with some teachers in the theater, where later on the concert took place. And I was there and we were discussing why I couldn't be in the band. I was still defending my point. And I told them everything, but the problem is, you know, the teachers who could have defended me, who could have kept me in the band and guaranteed my spot, were not musicians, so how could they understand what I was saying, what I was explaining to them? So yeah, I had no chance. I knew I had no chance. And somewhere during that argument, I called him out. I called the whole band out on what they did in the hall, you know, the ping pong thing. And at that point, I really think that I got desperate because I was trying to expose them in front of the teachers and the principal. I was trying to embarrass them. I'm like, you think I'm stupid and you want to fool the teachers and you want me out and you don't want me in this band? Then it, I'm gonna embarrass you. But that didn't help. The meeting just ended and we all left and I was out. Now I was out of the band, but I was still gonna perform at the concert. So the keyboardist tells me, you know, why don't you just play something on your own after we're done? And the supervisor's really supportive of that idea. So I thought about it and finally I decided that, you know, these guys, they don't want me in the band. They don't want to give me my spotlight. They don't want me to do my job, to do the thing that I've always wanted to do. But I still don't want to be out completely. I don't want to be in the crowd. I want to do something. So I thought, you know, this was my only hope. This was the only thing I could do. I had no other choice. And then I remembered that I'm not a traditional bass player. I don't play the traditional, the old way. And some of my bass heroes are Jason Newsted, Lemmy, Cliff Burton. And one of the things that those bass players did was playing bass solos. And I thought, yeah, I can definitely do that. So I agreed and went home and prepared something. I definitely wasn't really content and satisfied, but you know, better than nothing, right? So here we are, concert day, Independence Day. We got upstage, we're waiting for everybody to come. And it's already weird because they made me sit on the left side of the stage. Like I was sitting right next to the wall. And in front of me was the curtain, so basically I was hidden. But most people were still able to see me. And since the bass player was benched, they thought I looked weird and stupid according to someone I met later on. Anyway, the concert begins, they're playing and I'm sitting on the side looking like an idiot. This is exactly what I needed. Anyway, they finished the set list and it's my turn. So there's a lady whose job was to introduce everyone, and when it was my turn and I got closer to the center of the stage so I could play, I looked at her and I was like, yeah, okay, it's me now. Can you introduce me? And she looked back, yeah, okay, start playing. So yeah, I didn't even get an introduction. So anyway, I started playing. I played 2 solos. The first was Jason Newsted's solo from Cunning Stunts, and the second was the To Live Is To Die solo from Seattle 89. Now here's what happened during my part. The concert was almost over, so most people left their seats and got ready to leave the theater. So I only had the attention of my classmates, some teachers, and the principal. I still played, I kept playing, I didn't stop. I didn't wait for anyone to look at me and go like, hey, look at that guy. Or maybe I just didn't expect it. Now, here's probably the worst thing that happened. While I was playing, a number of students went to the back of the theater and gathered there. And of all the songs, they started singing Happy Birthday. Yup, someone decided to have their birthday during the same time I was having the moment that I begged for, the moment that I desperately got. And I think that at that time, I felt like crying. I wanted to start crying. Because I got denied, then I got denied, then I got denied, and this is the only thing that I could get. And now I'm gonna get denied again. So yeah, that really hurt me. And the next time I met this guy was like a year later. I was rehearsing with some guys. We had a concert on Mother's Day. And this guy pays a visit. He comes in, and when he sees me, he's like, you! He walks towards me like he's about to kill me. And he tries to do the exact same thing. You, the guy over there, stop him right now. The concert's over, I'm done playing, the classmates and my teachers, they clap for me, and that's all the attention I got, that's all the admiration that I got that day. I definitely wasn't satisfied, I was unhappy, I was really sad, kind of depressed, I felt depressed and really heartbroken because I did not deserve that. I didn't do anything to deserve that kind of treatment and to feel like that. So we all left, I got out of the theater, and we're about to go home. And my chemistry teacher at the time, who had a front row seat and was really paying attention to me, and bless her heart, she comes up and she tells me, wow, that was amazing, that was awesome, I loved it. And I will always remember that. I think that she was the first ever person to admire me as a musician, and she was an amazing teacher and person. So that was it. I left, I went home, and I think that when I was home, I wasn't really upset. I didn't feel real upset and bothered by it. I think I let it go really quicker than I expected. But of course, after that, I got back on stage, I played more concerts, I proved myself, and I definitely still have haters. Like, I definitely have that kind of bandmate who doesn't like my existence, doesn't want to see me there, who wants, who wants to take my place, which is impossible. Like, sometimes a percussionist gets jealous of me, sometimes a guitarist gets jealous of me, and I'm like, you guys have your own roles. I can't do your job, and you can't do mine. So just stick to your roles, do your job, do your best at your own instrument, and you'll get the attention and admiration that you deserve. Every time I join a band, I give it all I got. I do my best. I play with passion, with all the passion that I got. And that's what every musician should do. And to wrap it all up, I'd like to send a message to new, younger musicians. Believe in yourselves. Play the instrument you love and love the instrument you play. Do not stop learning. There's always room for improvement. Stick to your role and don't let anyone take it away from you. Fight for what you deserve, fight for your spotlight, and keep proving yourself every day and night. That's all I got for you. Thank you very much for watching. What are your thoughts on my story? Do you have a first gig story? If yes, feel free to comment. Thanks again. Please like, share, and subscribe. I hope you have a great time. Please take care of yourselves. See you next time.